The score is 3-2. As things stand, Benfica will be eliminated during the Champions League phase. Luckily for them, they have a free kick in the 7th minute of 5 added time. Before we see how this match ends, we need to go back to understand how this moment even happened and to understand what the single free kick means in a grand scheme of things.
Let's do things differently this time. Like, so differently. His name is
Jose Mourinho. I've won the Italian, Portuguese, English and Spanish championships and the UEFA Champions League twice.
Mourinho was not special by any means. In fact, after his playing career, he was a PE teacher. Then at Sporting, when Brian Robson arrived, his career would change forever. The pair spent a better half of a decade together, first as his translator and soon as Robson's assistant manager. This humbling beginning did come to bite Jose in the ass though. At Barcelona, the Catalonian press would undermine him and often refer to him as the interpreter. This is what ultimately led Jose to try and spread his own wings and fly. The opportunity will come from Benfica when they sacked their manager just 4 weeks into the new season. Mourinho took charge and his stay at Benfica was quite fruitful when he enjoyed a 3-0 victory against rival Sporting, but by December his reign was put under threat when Benfica elected a new club president, and feeling his job was under threat, Mourinho marched into the president's office and demanded an improved contract. And when, to be honest, this outlandish offer got rejected, Jose handed in his resignation the same day. When most people would pull this stunt, we will be quick to label them as delusional. But for Mourinho, this was just him backing himself. What's even more crazy is that after a short stint at Benfica, Jose got the job at Lira in 2001. During his time at Lira, the team was on a run contesting places as high as 3rd and 4th, and by January, Mourinho recorded an 8-game unbeaten run, with 6 wins and 2 draws and 6 points behind league leaders. Now, many like me have no idea who this club even is, and that's the point. They were mid-table fodder and he took them, and during his short stay turned this group of average footballers into the we don't care who you are team. By the start of the new year in 2002, Porto FC replaced their manager on the 23rd of January with yours truly. At this time they were 5th in the league. Mourinho guided the team to a 3rd place finish that second half of the season after a strong 15-game run where they went on to win 11 games. He promised he will make Porto champions the next year.
E em condições normais vamos ser campeões. Em condições anormais também vamos ser campeões.
Jose Mourinho said,
"Okay, fuck you. Watch this."
His first full season in charge of a club that has the potential to win the league, he won the fucking lot. Porto won the league with 27 wins, 5 draws and only 2 losses. His team had the best defensive record and also scored a record 86 out of the possible 102 points. For many managers, a double in their first full season would be seen as an astronomical success. But Mourinho is not an ordinary manager. After a hard and aggressive Europa League campaign, the side found themselves opposite Scottish giant Celtic, and the game did not disappoint. It was an open back and forth game that only saw a winning goal in the 105th minute of extra time, when Derlei fired a shot that went through the keeper's hands and a block from a defender. A goal that was deserving of winning Porto a treble. Again, keep in mind, this was just Mourinho's first full season in charge of a club. His second season was much of the same, winning the league, ultimately falling out of the cup, but in the Champions League, quite unexpectedly, Porto marched to the finals, and in the finals there was another giant killer waiting for him. Monaco reached the finals by killing the kings of Europe, Real Madrid. But Porto is no Real Madrid, and they dismantled the French team with a massive 3-0 victory in the final. 2 seasons in charge and 5 trophies, including back-to-back continental success. Probably unsurprisingly, Mourinho had his sights set on a bigger club. To the land of kings, the likes of Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson. Initially, Mourinho wanted a move to Liverpool, an established team, but Liverpool did not respect Mourinho yet. And Mo made the move to Chelsea.
I have to say this. We have top players, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant, because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
And so the special one was born. Boy, was this a great time in football history. In England, he started to brew an explosive rivalry with Arsene Wenger. Mourinho would also create a special team. He instilled a strong mentality on the team, an us against the world mentality. He turned Stamford Bridge into a fortress, and the term "park the bus" was coined. When he won the league with Chelsea, their first top-flight title in 50 years, he also set an uncontested record of 15 goals conceded the entire season. His second season at Chelsea, Mourinho would continue this crazy run of success by winning the Premier League again, by, get this, Arsenal fans, leading the season from the first match week until the very end. This dominance was on a new level. Mourinho's third season saw the first time in 5 years that he didn't win a league title. It will also be his 5th year in a row that he has won a trophy, winning the League Cup once more against Arsenal and the FA Cup against league rivals Manchester United. But behind closed doors, things weren't all smooth sailing, with the relationship between Mourinho and Abramovich becoming strenuous when the Chelsea boss appointed a director of football, taking control away from Mourinho. During this season, Mourinho would pack his bags and head to Milan. 08-09, Mourinho took charge at Inter, immediately winning the Italian Super Cup. But this is where the Midas touch of Mourinho got a bit rusty. Being eliminated by Manchester United in the Champions League round of 16, then came the semi-final knockout from the Coppa Italia. In the league, his Inter side showed a lot of promise, winning the Scudetto by 10 points. Mourinho then showed a masterclass in managerial skill, bringing in an undervalued Samuel Eto'o, who at the time was the best player at Barcelona, but ultimately had a contested relationship with Pep. You can check out my video on Eto'o's career to learn more. Eto'o was a key player for Mourinho, not just to conquer Italy, but beyond. After a shaky start to the season that saw Inter lose the Super Cup to Lazio and a draw against newly promoted Bari, there was a lot of doubt shined onto Mourinho's team. But the second half of that season, Inter reached new heights, first winning the Coppa Italia, then the league, and by beating Barcelona on their way, Mourinho and Inter were on the doorstep of winning a treble. Ultimately, Inter would dispatch Bayern with no real struggle to win the Champions League for the second time in his career, though many managers would have been elated by this. Jose was rather somber. In fact, he was crying. You see, Mourinho was Madrid bound. At Madrid, he became their 11th manager in 7 years. Madrid was down bad during this period, failing to win the league title in 7 years and being nowhere in terms of the Champions League. Here is where we saw the most toxic Mourinho. He drilled his players to hate every opposition player. In his first match, Madrid had a goalless draw against Mallorca, claiming afterwards that some poor rival would pay for the chances missed. The next two games, Madrid would win 4-1 and 6-1. Though this run was short-lived when Mourinho got a rude awakening from Pep Guardiola, a 5-0 loss in the El Clasico at Camp Nou. The loss was avenged in the Copa del Rey finals, with Real beating Barcelona 1-0, Jose's 14th trophy in 8 years, and also ending an 18-year Copa del Rey drought for Real Madrid. The rivalry with Pep intensified when Barcelona knocked Real out of the Champions League that season. This was peak football. Barca versus Real, Messi versus Ronaldo, Pep versus Mourinho. The pair would go blow for blow the next season, but in the league, there was no stopping this Real Madrid team. In his second season at the club, in December, Real destroyed Ajax in the Champions League group stage, being the team's 15th consecutive win, equaling a club record held for 50 years. This was a record-breaking side, winning the league with a lethal attack. On the last day of the season, Real broke the following records. The 2012-2013 season saw a falling out with Cristiano Ronaldo right off the bat, where Mourinho publicly stated that the relationship has turned sour because Cristiano couldn't take criticism from him. He also benched the club captain and overall legend, Iker Casillas, which caused turmoil in the fan base, and he reportedly had a fractured relationship with his most loyal fighter, Sergio Ramos. This was a total toxic implosion. It was almost like when there was no more enemies left to fight, Mourinho turned inwards. Real Madrid ended the season trophyless, and after the Copa del Rey finals defeat to Atletico Madrid, Mourinho and Madrid parted ways. Chelsea welcomed back the special one with open arms, and again, that first season back was wonderful. He immediately won the league, his third English crown, but yet again, complete implosion followed, with the team struggling the following season. Although the public statement was that his contract got terminated by mutual consent, brother, champions of England Chelsea was adrift at 12th place that season. Clear as day, he got sacked. Next came United. Mourinho started hot once more, winning the League Cup, and after a disastrous league campaign, he shifted focus to Europa League, where his Reds faced Ajax and won 2-0 in the finals. With Champions League football clinched, many hoped that that second season would see United win the league once more. Sadly, a feat they are still chasing 10 years later. Mourinho started that season well, but after a tricky winter season, they slipped too far, and Pep's Man City would go on to win the league with a 19-point gap. Pep this time having a 100-point season, breaking a ton of records at Man City. Perhaps this is why Mourinho felt the need to go on a strange rant after being bounced in the round of 16, making sure to point out how great the City squad was Pep has inherited versus his own at United, ending on the best quote to have ever been uttered from any manager.
That's football heritage.
By December, he saw his time come to an end once more due to toxic implosion, where United only won 7 of their first 17 league games. A new low came when Mourinho took the job at Spurs. Important to highlight, this was a Spurs team that has just freshly reached the Champions League finals. Mourinho got sacked right before the League Cup finals. Sacked from Chelsea, United and Spurs. It's fair to say the Premier League has lost faith in the special one. The following season he went to Roma. Maybe he could establish this once great club again. After the first season went off great, winning the Europa Conference League, being the first manager to have won all 3 UEFA club competitions. However, his second season, Roma was struggling. In the league, after contesting for second, Roma slipped to 5th place. And again with the Europa League offering his only pathway to Champions League, Mourinho reached the final.
It goes to the wire, to the very end. For the 3rd consecutive season, the Europa League final will be decided from the penalty spot. He's hit the post, and Montiel stares at the pride. Sevilla, again, and again, and again.
Mourinho has won everywhere he went. Even at his lowest lows, he managed to pull a trophy out of thin air. At Fenerbahce, he would yet again go trophyless. And when qualification for Champions League football was not secured, something funny happened. Mourinho, Ole, Ten Hag, all 3 full-time replacements from each other at United, all 3 sacked in the same week. Mourinho's Fenerbahce achieved nothing of note. Like this whole video, I've been flaunting Mourinho's success. In fact, I even left out some feats to save some time. But this last 2 tenures has left us nothing of note. No crazy trophy run, no crazy press moment, no nothing. It's almost as if Mourinho himself might have come to terms that he might not be the special one anymore. He was success embodied, yet the media and a large amount of fan interest just moved on. His main rival in his career, Pep Guardiola, established a club and dominated England in ways never seen before, while Mourinho was facing unemployment. It makes you think, what could Mourinho have achieved if he could manage longer than 2 years spells at a team? What would a Jose Mourinho dynasty look like? We saw glimpses of this at Chelsea and Real, but never the true potential of a hand-picked Mourinho 11. Almost a week after getting sacked, Benfica offered Mourinho a job. He's returned to where it all started 25 years later. Now, let's start with the bad. This season so far, Mourinho's team got bounced in the quarter-finals of the Portuguese Cup by Porto. But his team is still undefeated in the league. 7 points off Porto. Is this the new rise of the special one? Are we seeing an evolution of Mourinho? Let's go back to the start. Benfica hosted the final game of the league phase against Real Madrid, the kings of Europe. They were unlikely to qualify for the playoffs of the Champions League even if they managed a win against Real. The goal difference was still against them. Well, Benfica quickly took the lead and extended the lead to 2 goals before Mbappe clawed it back. In the last 10 minutes of the game, Benfica held strong to a 1-goal lead when in the 7th minute of 5 added time, they were awarded a free kick in a threatening area. I think the funniest thing about this is they only found out they needed an extra goal minutes before this free kick, and Jose Mourinho called up his goalkeeper to secure a playoff spot and maybe the renaissance of the special one. This is football heritage.